This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Okay, so we got Erica Banks. Now, she was been arrested for, they say allegedly, she brought a gun to the airport, okay? And it was stolen gun. She's cooked. She should be cooked. But I've seen people get out of these situations before, okay? Jewels went to jail for 3 years behind this, right? You can't bring a gun to the airport, period. Okay, unless you have cleared it and you got they have to do something with it. Like I think you have to put it under the plane. You have to have a license, a bunch of stuff, right? So the gun was in her Louis Vuitton bag. It was checked by security and found to be stolen out of Greenville, South Carolina. Now, first of all, you can't bring it on the plane, okay? But anyways, so 11 hip hop star was arrested as a result. She wasn't at the Clayton County Jail for long. However, she was released over an hour into her stay. Okay, so the attorney says it was our contention that she was caught with a weapon. She had no idea it was stolen. She is also not guilty of the offense. Once we get to court, well, come on, man. Yeah, how? Okay, it says this is part of her criminal history. Sure, it never becomes part of her criminal history, and these charges are dismissed. Isn't it become federal at that point, bringing it to the airport? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you know, some people are privileged to escape these things because they know the right people. How are you going to get these charges dismissed? You brought a gun to the airport, and you tried to get it checked by TSA, which means you were trying to get on the plane with it. I think she just forgot she had it in her purse. And they found it to be stolen? And she didn't know? How do you not know your gun's stolen? You bought a used gun? All right. Then we got Cardi B. She responds to Offset by flaunting. We'll play that later. Gifts from Stephen Diggs. So, in this Joe Budden interview with Offset, he's like, yo, I'm not taking no shots at Cardi B or anything on my album. I'm just talking about my truth and my life. That's going to be considered shots. What are you talking about? I don't get this guy, man. And then he proceeds in the same interview to say, I've never met a girl that's leveled up after me. You're taking shots. Like, I'm starting to, this guy's slow, bro. Yo, Offset is slow. It's like, I'm going to be honest. Baby, you know what? It's starting to make sense why this didn't work out. Offset is just slow. He just justifies everything. He remains oblivious, and he's dissing her and saying he's not dissing her. That's called, I think that's gaslighting at that point, right? Trying to make someone crazy. So, yeah, he's good. What you don't know, what he doesn't know here is that you're playing too much, and guess what? She's gonna destroy you in court. You're going to get destroyed over the next couple of years. You've now scorned her, and she will destroy you. You should have just walked away when you could have and been, you know, had respect for each other because you have children and everything. But you keep tormenting her publicly, and that's not going to end too well. We all know, okay? So Wack 100 is trying to distance himself from Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon's wife keeps coming out and talking about this kind of situation. Now she's talking about, oh, there was never no real situation with our TV show. You know, I know how to read Stripe and all that. Stripe is a straightforward platform for doing e-commerce. What? I know how to read it. Yeah, I know how to read my receipt from Costco too. I mean, you don't need a degree. It's pretty straightforward. 50 Cent had a show last night, 70K people in Denmark. Okay. He's still on tour in Europe. Now, Wack 100 says the come up. They're big mad. I love how people always use uh, the come up DVD. They always use that. The come up. We're going to do the come up now. This is going to be his podcast coming soon on the Tronics Network. Because he's sprung. Never flaunt the girl you're with publicly on social media like this. Dangerous. I think he met her in his clubhouse, right? On online. Sometimes you do that, right? And then things go left, and now you look stupid. So it's better just to keep things under wraps. Twitter reacts at Laila Ali. She's ducking the fade, okay? So she first said that she would do the fight with Clarissa Shields if she came up with $15 million. Well, they secured an investor for $15 million to put up the money for the fight, right? Now she says, I'm going to respond on my terms. She doesn't want to fight. That's all she has to say, ducking the fade. Everyone's saying the same thing. You're ducking it. It's like, you should have just shut up. You should have said, I respect her as a fighter. I think I'm too old to be fighting. You are too old to be fighting. You're almost 50. Maybe you fight someone your age, but to be 30, fight someone that's 30, you're going to get destroyed, man. Brooklyn pastor. Remember the guy who would just use all the church's funds to buy designer and buy Rolls Royce? He used a lot more than $90,000. That's just what they could prove. Sentenced to 9 years in prison. Should have done more time. You know why? That's the worst kind of crime to me, because you're taking advantage of somebody's faith. I hate that. It's disgusting. Young Thug reacts to Gunna announcing new album, The Last One. He says nobody want to hear that. They want to hear it more than your album. I'll tell you that much. They want to hear it more than a Young Thug album. Young Thug is tripping. He doesn't even get that people like Gunna more than him right now. They might like Young Thug more as a personality and more familiar with him, but musically, they like Gunna. Freddy Gibbs sells 37,000 with Alfredo 2 with Alchemist. That's good. Pusha T says he will never work with Kanye ever again. Better stand on that. I like when people make bold statements like that. I hate it when they go back on their word. So you better stand on that. I don't think Kanye would work with Pusha T again, to be honest, either. And then Cardi B flaunts gifts from Stefan Diggs as Offset's taking shots at her on the Joe Budden podcast. And then Busta Rhymes is going to be going to court soon for an assistant that's charging him with assault, basically, and labor law violations. Makes sense. Busta Rhymes. But who have you ever heard? I don't care. Busta Rhymes, we know he's a legend in a sense, right? Because he's been in the game forever, right? When was the last time you were like, I got to hear this new Busta Rhymes, or put on an old Busta Rhymes song? It was a vibe music for the time, if that makes any sense. Like at that moment, Busta Rhymes music, we listened to it, right? But it's not replayable. It's not like I'm got to go hear that old Mobb Deep song or Nas or, it's not, it doesn't have that replay value. It's because it's like, he's not really saying anything in the music. He's like, it's like, what is he talking about, Put your hands up, pass the Cavassier. It's like, he's never really saying anything. Call me a hater if you want. I don't care. It's the truth. It's JordanTower with JT News. I'll check you guys in the next one. Smash that like button. Make sure you leave a comment below, even if it's critical. Just leave a comment. This is JordanTower with JT News. I'll check you on the next one. Peace.